All right, I'm going to show you how to use an architect scale now to measure. And so the thing that we need to know with an architect scale is there's several different scales located on it. And so the first one we're going to use is an eighth of an inch scale. And so when we look at our architect scale, what that means is 1/8 of an inch is equal to 1 foot. And so I'm going to find that 1/8 of an inch marker on my scale, and then I'll know that I'm on the right scale, or the correct scale. And then I will find, and we're going to practice measuring on these lines here. So I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see. I'm going to start by putting the 0 at the end of that line. All right. And then it's going to be important that when we're using the architect scale, that we know what these numbers mean right here. And so the scale is telling us, if we're using a 1/8 inch scale, that 1/8 of an inch equals 1 foot. And so to figure out which lines that I need to utilize to read this scale, if I come down here by the 0 and start, I can see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. And then the numbers continue to rise. So I see 4, 8, and so on, all the way to the end of the scale. And so what those numbers represent are the number of feet in the line, so in the scale that we're reading. And so if I come down here and I look at my line, I can see that I am at 28, 29, 30 feet. So the measurement is 30 feet and then some inches. So it goes past 30, but it's not quite to 31. And so the confusing thing, again, about the architect scale here is that there's a 32 right here. And so that 32 is not for the 1/8 inch scale. It's for the scale that reads from the other side of the scale. And so it's important that I find the lines that I'm using and I record those. This is 28, 29, 30 feet. So it's a little past 30 feet, but it's not to 31. So then if I move my scale to this side, now I can count how many inches that is. And so if I look at the end of my scale here, I can see that there are 6 lines between the end and the 0. So that represents 1 foot. And so if there are 6 lines between there, I know that each line is 2 inches because that's the way it is calibrated. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, that gives you a foot. And so I can see that there it's halfway, so it's 30 feet, 6 inches would be the measurement for that. So I'll go ahead and write that in to my blank on my example. 30 feet, 6 inches. All right, we'll do one more together, so I'll zoom into this. Next one down here. Okay, I'll put the 0 on the end of the line, and I'll measure the feet first. Oops, let me get it set there. Okay, and so I'm at 16, 17, 18, 19 feet. It's not quite to 20. So it's 19 feet. If I move to the end of the 19 on the end of that line, then I count the number of inches. It looks like it is about 19 feet, 7 inches. So I'll go ahead and write that in the blank. You can go ahead and do the last one on the 1/8 inch scale on your own. We will now go ahead and look at the 1/4 inch scale. And so so the 1/4 inch scale is on the other side of the 1/8 scale. So it works the same way, except from the other side. And so I'll zoom into this first line a little bit. We'll practice measuring this line with our 1/4 inch scale. So I'm going to start it on this side of the line now. So I'm reading from that side. All right. So I'll figure out which lines I'm looking at. So if I see this, there's a 92, then there's another line, and then the first number is 2. And so I know that this line right here is 1 foot, and then I skip that one, and that's 2 foot, 4, and so on. So if I come back down to here, I can see that here is 10 feet. It's not to 10 feet, so it's 9 feet, which would be this line. So I'll move it to the end of that line. So I have 9 feet, and now I'll count my inches over here. So on the 1/4 inch scale, you can see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 lines. And so each line represents 1 inch. And so I'm at 9 feet. It looks like 9 inches. 3, 6, 9. So 9 feet, 9 inches would be my answer for that scale reading. So I'll go ahead and write that one in. 9 feet, 9 inches. We'll do one more together on the 1/4 inch scale. Zoom into my next line. I'll find the 1/4 inch scale, put it at the end of my line. So if we look at this one, again, we have to figure out what lines we're looking at. And in this case, I'm looking at 20 right here. That would be 21, and that would be 22. So it's not quite to 22, so I'll move the scale to the left, and so it's going to be 21 feet. Now I can read how many inches. If I look over here, you can see it's right in the middle, so it's 21 feet, 6 inches. So I'll go ahead and write that into my spot. And so that's the way you use an architect scale.